When it comes to fall, one thing is for sure: leaves will change color and drop to the ground. When that happens, those leaves can be a big mess. Luckily, there are quite a few choices you have when it comes to getting rid of unwanted leaves. Doyle Smith explains what options you have available to you.
Beginning October, November this year, residents can put their yard waste carts out on Monday in October, November. They'll be charged a $5 rate for those 2 months. November 2nd through November 13th, we'll be doing our daily collection of the automated carts. Residents are allowed to put their can out each day during that time frame, and we'll be by as often as possible to empty the carts. The city also does have a seasonal leaf vacuum service available as well during those 2 months, October, November. Residents need to schedule that at least 24 hours in advance. They can call 273-8629 to schedule an appointment for the leaf vacuum service. The way the leaf vacuum service works, the residents must rake the leaves out to the curb, and then the city will come by with a leaf vacuum truck and suck up all the leaves at the curb line for the resident for $50 per visit.
Another option is taking your yard waste to the seasonal compost facility. You can drop off your unwanted refuse and maybe even take something back home with you.
We also have the seasonal compost facility open 7 days a week this year, and that's going to run through the end of November. The hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 till 5 o'clock, and Saturdays and Sundays from 8 until 5 o'clock as well. It's a free drop-off facility for Cedar Falls residents only. They're also allowed to take mulch out of the facility, but they must load it up on their own. They can use buckets or the back of a pickup truck to load the mulch out in. There's also finished compost available for the residents to use as well for their gardens, flower beds, and in the yards as well if they want to use that compost for that as well. Residents are allowed to take leaves, grass, brush out to the site. We just ask that there's no garbage out there and people obey the signage that we have out there and deposit the stuff in the appropriate windrow that we have established for everything.
You may wish to visit the compost facility if you still have yard waste bags, which the city will no longer pick up.
We stopped collecting yard waste bags a couple years ago. It was just too labor intensive for the city to pick up. If residents have yard waste bags, they can take those out to the seasonal compost facility or bring down to our transfer station at 15th and State Street as well.
A daily collection is offered in the autumn months so that you'll be able to consistently keep your yard clear of debris.
What's important with the daily collection that we're doing in November, in the first 2 full weeks in November, is that if the resident's not going to use their can during that period, make sure they pull the can up so that we don't actually accidentally go by and scan the can for pickup. So once the can's collected, make sure the resident pulls it back up each time and refills it and brings it back down to the curb if they want it dumped that next day. The cans should weigh about 250 pounds when they're fully loaded, typically with the mulch leaves and the walnuts and stuff in them. Also, with the yard waste carts, the lids must be completely closed. We've seen it oftentimes in the past where there's brush sticking out of the cans, and it's hard for the trucks to dump the cans that way. So residents would cut the branches down to 3 to 4 foot lengths and put them in the cans, and that's fine, and we should be able to empty the cans that way. With the yard waste carts, the carts need to be out by 7 o'clock in the morning. That's very important. Also, they need to be brought back in by 8 o'clock that night, the night of collection as well. During the 2-week collection, we also ask that residents have their carts out by 7 a.m. as well. If it's on the garbage day, make sure we leave a 3 to 4 foot space between the garbage can and the yard waste cart so that we can safely collect the yard waste carts, separate from the garbage can. It's a $5 fee to dump the yard waste cart during the October-November time frame. December through March, it goes back on a call-in basis, and then the rate goes back up to $10 per dump.
Of course, you always have the option of keeping the various bits of organic material in your yard to help nourish the soil.
Mulching the leaves and grass clippings back in the yard is a beneficial use of the product for residents to use in the yard. It helps provide nourishment to the soils as well. Also helps with weeds from growing back up in the springtime as well too.
Reporting for Channel 15 City News, I'm Nathan Grieve.